A video of the worst city in America. Number one, East Cleveland, Ohio, Cuyahoga County, USA. We're going down one of the more popular streets that used to be really nice. So let's have a look-see here. Look at all this trash. Wow. This building here, the windows are gone out of it. These were some really nice buildings back in the day. Look at that building. Completely ramshackled. Ceilings are falling in. This whole street, you can look down the whole street, and the whole street is nothing but abandoned, empty buildings that have been dilapidated. So let's have a look. We're going to walk to the end here. This building here is also bad. Nobody's cut the grass. I got my dog with me. Look at this garbage here in the street. People dumping stuff. All these buildings. East Cleveland, Ohio, USA. The number one worst city in America. Detroit, Chicago. Say we got a bullet. Yep. Got a bullet casing laying on the ground. Come on. Next to a Wild Irish Rose bottle. And that's a big casing too. That's not a little bullet. Next to all this garbage. There are people that dump around here. You see all those, looks like roofing materials that people dumped. People get killed in this neighborhood on this very street and dumped in these empty buildings, and they don't find them. Look at this building here. Look at the roof. The whole roof done fell in. You can see right through the windows, right up to the sky. Look through there. Wow. It's barely even a shell of a building anymore. Used to be a beautiful building. This building across the street here looks like it's been caught fire. Look at the roof up there. Totally caved in. Completely ramshackled. Everything's fallen in. It's terrible. East Cleveland, Ohio. Here's another one. Roof is the same condition. If you can see the roof in the middle of these buildings here, that's a very expensive roof. Those green shingles are very expensive when they put them on. They're almost antique, and you can't get them anymore. So some of these buildings do have some good stuff on them, but of course you can't get them because you'll get caught stealing stuff. Here's another building. Wow. Look inside there. Can you see inside there? Completely gone. Look at that roof. Obviously it's been on fire. This building is just a shell. I'm surprised it's still standing. It hasn't fallen in on somebody. Killed somebody. Part of these walls have fallen in. I hope this camera can see it. All these buildings were beautiful buildings. Very popular street. Very popular high-class neighborhood back in the day. And now it's completely gone. Look at the landscaping. People dumping stuff all over the place. crazy. The city of East Cleveland won't do anything about it. The mayor, he ignores the problem. And all these buildings are a hazard to kids. Kids come walking down these streets and they can go in these buildings and find bad things and get hurt if you don't fall through the floor. This building looks like they had some aluminum on there going across the top, and they have been stripping that aluminum off of there, it looks like, probably so they can take it to the scrapyard and get 50 cents. Not worth the time. Dumping stuff in the middle of the street. Empty lots. This here looked like a mattress, bed, and some box springs somebody threw out. Somebody probably walked by and threw a cigarette on it, and it caught fire, obviously. Right in the middle of the street, they're dumping this stuff. Look at that roof in there, completely caved in. This is a hazard to the children. This isn't far from a school, and it's just terrible. Kids do come down this street, and they do go in these buildings. You know, kids are curious, and they want to see. Terrible. Chapman apartment. Ramshackled. Completely done for. But, once again, look at the roof. Those shingles on that roof are very valuable. If you could get up there and get them, especially those corner pieces up there that are round, if you could get up there and get them, you make lots of money. Of course, you'd be stealing it, but they are worth a lot of money. More dumping. They do have a barricade on the street, as you can see, so you can't drive up and down it. I guess that helps keep people from driving trucks around there dumping. But look at these buildings. All the landscape is overgrown or hasn't been cut in who knows how long. And the city just lets this stuff go. They don't care. This is Elderwood Avenue. Used to be very, very popular. There's the blockades. Elderwood was a very popular high-class street back in the day. This building here used to be a very nice building, but I see obviously they're dumping stuff out in front of it. Wow. This building has been on fire clearly. Look at that middle. The fire melted the aluminum awnings. I'm surprised they didn't steal the awnings to scrap them for aluminum. It looks like they did steal it from over the front door. Elderwood Avenue, East Cleveland. There's 2 cameras on that pole, if you can see them. Who knows if they work. Elderwood Avenue. The building next door is also done for. Front door is open. Wow, with all kinds of, looks like carpet padding dumped in the doorway. Just terrible. Abandoned house on the corner there with a big old dead tree. That tree is a hazard. It could fall down. I see some trees dumping over here. All this overgrown equipment. Oh, look at this wire. Look at this wire hanging from the tree, from the pole. Let's see what it is. Not going to touch it. Well, it doesn't look like electrical wire, but still dangerous enough as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, these buildings are completely gone. Wow. This building has trees falling down that are leaning on the building. They didn't even hit the ground. They fell over onto the building. Let's have a look and see here. Grass is overgrown. Wow. Clearly the building has been on fire. Jeez wheelies. You see the smoke that's been on the windows. Over here the smoke coming out. If you can see through that top window, the roof is caved in, and you can see the window. You can see through the window right to the sky. Look at all these windows that smoke has come out of them, where it's black and it was on fire. These buildings need to be torn down for the safety of the community, for the safety of the kids. Look at this window. Broken glass hanging from the window. A very bad hazard. All that. Broken glass all over the ground. This is nothing but a hazard. Stuff is being dumped, trees, all this broken glass on these windows and stuff. I guess there's nothing that the residents can do about it. The city won't tear them down. They just leave them for the people and hope that they don't go in them, and all that broken glass everywhere. Let's peek inside here. Clearly been on fire. Wow. This camera doesn't have night vision, so I don't know how well you can see it, but it's clearly been burned up from top to bottom. The roofs are caved in completely. The floors are caved in. Wow. This is absolutely disgraceful that the city would let this type of property stand. These properties that are in this neighborhood, I'm not going any further in there. I might fall through the floor. Broken glass everywhere. Wood with nails sticking up. You can see that that's dangerous. It's terrible. That's that burn up apartment. The heat melted the awnings. Look at all this stuff has been on fire. Smoked up the windows. Huh? Yeah, you can see somebody looks like they cleaned out this driveway for some reason or another. Huh. But you can see that it was clearly on Had a bad fire all over the windows. Everything. The driveway looks like somebody swept it and cleaned it up. Huh. I wonder why they would do that. We're going to go over, I want to show you this fire hydrant. Some of the caps on these fire hydrants are made out of brass, and you can scrap them out.
Especially that one.
You can see clearly that that was a brass fire hydrant, and it has a little bit of water dripping from it, but you can see they stole the cap and took it, I'm sure, to the scrap yard and got a couple bucks for it. Wow. I see a big pile of stuff down here dumped. Let's go have a look. This building here is also completely done for. I see a no dumping sign. No dumping. Violators will be prosecuted. Yeah, I believe that, if they catch them. Okay, looks like somebody cut down a tree and dumped it here. And you didn't really have to dump that tree, because somebody would have used it for firewood, for heat. Wow, look at all this stuff dumped. Wood chips, chunks of trees. Different tree here, same spot. Makes me think the same person did it. Just had a couple different tree jobs. A big old pile of cement. Oh man.
We got a deer.
Yeah, I see him. I don't know if you saw that deer running through there. Look at all this stuff dumped here. Look at these nails sticking up. It's a big hazard. Broken glass. Big hazard for the children. Look at all this stuff dumped back here. Somebody had to almost pull a semi-truck back here and dump this stuff. A deer just ran through here a minute ago, and they're living amongst this stuff. Wow, that's a big pile of stuff dumped. You had to have a semi-truck to dump that much stuff. There's no other way.
Who is it?
A box truck or a pickup truck isn't going to hold that much stuff to dump. And those are long pieces. Looks like plastic. That's just about enough to be on the back of a semi-truck. Crazy. Tires dumped. We got people in the place over there. That's a black lab. The landscaping hasn't been cut. All this, the deer live in this area. There's a place over here that I saw a bunch of stuff dumped. Wow. Let's go have a look. This is ridiculous. Look at all this dumping. Look at all this dumping. You would think the police could catch them. But no, they let it fly. They let it go. The city does that. Look at that building. It's been on fire too. It's barely a shell anymore. Look at that tall chimney. That chimney's gonna come down one day. Hopefully nobody's below it. Look at all this stuff dumped. Roofing materials. More roofing materials. There's a storage tank for probably heating oil or diesel fuel. Probably been sitting there for 100 years. It looks like an old tank. Rusty, starting to rust out. It takes a lot of time for that type of thing to rust. That's a big hazard. Look at this building up here. Completely gone. You can see where the bricks already starting to fall in. And the building is bowed out. The bricks are bowed out. Very dangerous for the public. But once again, the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, USA, doesn't do anything about it. These buildings clearly been on fire. Just absolutely terrible. Terrible. Dumping stuff. Let's walk back down this way. This is ridiculous. Look at all that stuff that they dumped. That the police didn't catch them. They let them do this. They know they do it. The city knows they do it, but they let them do it and get away with it. They let it become a hazard for the citizens and the children. All this broken glass. The wires are cut on the phone pole. Somebody probably cut that wire to take to the scrapyard. These notches here used to have this inside of them, as you see, and there was a copper rod, the ground rod that goes down to the bottom. They clipped that, took that to the scrapyard. Scrapyards are big business, and it's difficult to stop them, and there's a lot of theft that goes on, and people take the stuff that they steal to the scrapyard. Got a new fire hydrant. That's a steel one, so they haven't taken nothing off of it yet. Looks okay, but who knows if it works or not.
Brand new.
Brand new.
Hey, do they still work for the school, I wonder?
Yeah. This building here that we're looking at is a supply building for the City of East Cleveland school system.